All systems go. Clear for liftoff.
Good morning and welcome to this weekend's NASCAR Quick Hit here at SHIPIT Nation. I am Eric, also known as The Game, and this morning we're going to be discussing the Cookout 400 taking place at the Action Track, Richmond International Raceway. But before we go ahead and discuss this slate, let me of course mention us here at ShipItNation.com. If you haven't already, you really do owe it to yourself to give us a shot. We have a huge month coming up with the SHIPIT Nation games, and NFL is right around the corner. So if you haven't already, ShipItNation.com, give us a shot. Your one-stop shop for all things DFS. All right, we are once again heading to NASCAR's roots. We are short track racing this weekend, so that means we have plenty of Dominator points up for grabs, roughly 280 Dominator points up for grabs. So we will want to absolutely target those points. You will have to log in and check out the slate plan over at ShipItNation.com for my thoughts on the Dominators, at least as far as who should be the Dominators. But I think for the most part, you want at least 2 Dominators per lineup. Now, which 2? Well, that remains to be seen, but I think you need at least 2 per lineup. As far as practice this weekend, practice was thankfully mostly uneventful, except for 2 incidents that I want to point out. First off, and the much more minor of the 2, Carson Hocevar self-spun. I believe he was in Group 2 practice, and he self-spun, did not get any damage, did not hit anybody, did not get hit from anybody, no damage at all. He is completely clear. The other story of practice was Joey Logano. Joey Logano was bad. He was like real bad during practice. And then he cut a tire and hit the wall and got some pretty significant damage. Now, as of the time of this recording, they are not rolling out a backup car. Not that it really matters because he's starting dead last anyway. But yeah, Logano did cut a tire and get hard into the wall during practice. And as of now, they are planning on using that same primary car. Now, another thing I did want to mention about practice is I kind of hate it this weekend. Normally I can find something beneficial as far as a data point to use from practice. However, this was daytime practice, and the race is happening on Saturday night. The temperatures will be vastly different. Track conditions will be vastly different. I mean, and just take a look at the practice speeds. Ryan Preece was 30th across the board, and then he came out and put it on the pole. So I don't love using practice data at all this weekend. I'm going to be relying on mostly track ranking and track type ranking because I just don't think we can trust practice data all too much this weekend. All right, let's go through some drivers to highlight here. Let me just shift my notes so I'm not staring off camera the entire time. Boom, boom. I got the stone up in front of me. First thing I want to mention is their odds are not currently showing because for some reason they're not pulling. I need to figure out why that's happening. So hopefully we are able to get that sorted out before the end of the day today. On the pole is Ryan Preece. I love Ryan Preece today. I would have played Ryan Preece regardless of where he's starting. And the fact that he's on the pole makes me love it even more. we have to assume that he will get the jump on Tyler Reddick to start. And we all know how important I shouldn't say we all know, but in the next gen car, which is the car these guys are using, clean air is very important. It is very difficult to pass in these things. So if Ryan Preece gets the jump from the start, leads the bulk, if not all, of stage one, and stays top 10, top 15 the rest of the day at 7,600, yeah, give me some Ryan Preece. I love it. And he's been good all season. Like, this isn't like, it was surprising to see him on the pole because of, practice. But he's been good all season, right? Like, it's not surprising to see him up here. It wouldn't be surprising to see him be in contention for a victory. Love me some Ryan Preece this weekend. Up next, Tyler Reddick. If Reddick gets the jump on Preece, he could very easily lead the bulk of stage one. The only difference is he's $1,100 more than Preece. So, yeah, I like Reddick every weekend, but in this instance, I like Preece. Up next is the Dinger at 6K. I have no problems with the Dinger. He has not been the best at Richmond. I want to say he has finishes of like 27th or something. I'm pulling this stuff off the top of my head this morning here, folks. But Colleague is affiliated with Richard Childress Racing, and if you remember, just last year, Austin Dillon was a killer here last year. Yes, we all remember the ending of that when he was a snowplow and he wrecked Joey and Denny, I think, at the end of the race. And then he was disqualified and all that fun hoopla. But before that, Austin Dillon in a Richard Childress car was dominant. Dominant. He was thinking of the show. And Colleague Racing has an affiliation with Richard Childress Racing, and they have been better than advertised this season. So, do I expect Dinger to get up front and dominate? No. Do I think Dinger can stay in the top 15? Yeah. Do I think Dinger can stay on the lead lap in stage one? Yeah. And that's going to be very important this weekend. Let me say that again. Staying on the lead lap in stage one will be very important this weekend. So for 6K for the Dinger, will he fall back? Absolutely. Will he hopefully stay on the lead lap of stage one? Probably. So like me some Dinger. Denny Hamlin, love Denny. Denny is by far my favorite top end play, and I think he's the most expensive. He is the most expensive. Denny is a Richmond god. Awesome at Richmond. And this is a hometown track for Denny. So if you are into narratives, there is one. So probably if I'm ranking my DOMs, probably Denny and Preece would be 1A, 1B. I'll give you that on the free video. Ryan and Denny are probably my 1A, 1B DOMs for this weekend. Yeah. Up next, Chase Elliott. No problems taking a chance on Chase Elliott this weekend. I do like Hamlin more. Brad K. I wish Brad K was cheaper. But I have no problem taking a chance on Brad K. He's good on short flat tracks, which is what Richmond is. Bubba Wallace, no issues there. Christopher Bell, he's in play every weekend. Dominator, potentially. Probably not a stage one dominator, I wouldn't think, but stage two on, maybe, depending on how pit cycles and things go. Anytime Alex Bowman is under $8,000, I'm interested in him, and he's under $8,000. So give me some Alex Bowman. Michael McDowell, I don't know if I can get into him too much this weekend. The benefit for him is that he's cheap, and he should be able to stay on the lead lap of stage one. That's positive. The negative is he is not great at this style of racetrack. So how far will he fall back from that 10th starting spot? Who knows? The wrecking ball himself, Austin Dillon, up next. I'll take a shot on Austin Dillon. He surprised us all last year. He has often done well here at Richmond. That track ranking C- is a little bit lower because of the disqualification last year. So no issues taking a shot on Austin Dillon this weekend. Busher up next at 9K. Love me some Busher and kind of love me all the RFK Fords, with the cheapest one being the pole sitter, which is nice. Austin Cindric, I can't get into him, dog. He's a Team Penske Ford, which is always a positive. He'll probably stay on the lead lap, but he has just not been good here. So he's probably a no for me. William Byron, he gives you place differential upside and race winning upside at 10K from the 14th starting spot. No problems going there if you want to. Hocevar, it seems like he's kind of wrecking lately. He's fast all the time. And he seems like he's always getting into some sort of incident. And this is a short track. So the chances of him getting in an on-track incident today, I would say, is probably very high. Should that sway you from playing him? No, because we really can't truly predict that. But I don't know. I could see someone punting him today just because. Ty Dillon up next at 16th at 5K. If I like the dinger at 6K starting in the third, I love Ty starting at 16th at 5K. Yeah, he's F's across the board, but like I mentioned, Colleague has been trending upwards in my opinion, and as long as he can stay on that lead lap, that's going to be hugely positive if he can do it on stage one. So starting 16th, love me some Ty Dillon. Josh Berry, he's a short track king. I shouldn't say king, but that's what he grew up on. He does well here, as you can see from his recent form being a D-, and his track rank and his track type rank being B's. So yeah, no problems with Josh Berry. Put him in the pool. Eric Jones, it's probably a no for me, dog. I have my opinion on him is really soured over the season. He had so much potential at one point. Maybe it was even moons ago. Maybe I'm getting old, so maybe it was years ago at this point where he seemed like he had a lot of potential. But a 6,400 Eric Jones starting at 18th, I can't get into it. Next up, Chase Briscoe, 19th. Love me some Chase Briscoe. He's been doing good all season, and the ride that Martin Truex Jr. vacated. I wish he was a tiny bit cheaper, but I guess that's not to be expected in the equipment that he's in. Kind of surprised he's not on the pole, and he's starting deep in the field. So, yeah, love me some Chase Briscoe. Ryan Blaney. Yeah, give me some Blaney. He's always starting deep in the field for us, and he is a short flat track god. He's great at Phoenix. Iowa, I'm pretty sure reaches or stands out to me as well. Richmond is not his strongest, but still, it's Ryan Blaney starting 20th. He is starting to be in that spot where if he loses positions or if the front row, if the pace up front is quick enough where lap down might start 20th, 21st, 22nd. I want to say the trucks on Friday night was lapped up to 15th or 16th by the end of stage one. I don't think it's going to be that drastic in the Cup Series, and Ryan Blaney should be able to pass enough cars in stage one to keep ahead of that curve, but it's something to think about. Up next is mi amigo Daniel Suarez. I really don't have any love for him this weekend. Noah Gragson, no, he has just turned into trash. Sorry, Noah. I think you're a great personality for the sport. I think you're funny, but this front row stuff just isn't working. Ty Gibbs, yeah, 7K for Ty Gibbs. Absolutely. Even if this isn't his best racetrack, which it's not, um, Joe Gibbs equipment for 7K. Yeah, absolutely. Cole Custer. Probably not. Probably not for me. Justin Haley, also probably not. It does wonder me though if these practice speeds will give some ownership increases because it was like practice, like I said, practice was weird. Like group A was like the better group, which never happens. And it just wonders me if people are going to look at this practice data and give them a bump just because. So Cole Custer is a no for me. Justin Haley's a no for me. Riley Herbst is a no for me. Here is going to be the surprising portion. I'm going to say yes to SVG. Um, I'm going to say yes to SVG. SVG has been trending upwards as far as ovals are concerned. Now, is that top 10s? No. Is that top 15, 16, 17s? Yes. I'm willing to take a shot on him being able to stay on the lead lap because of the equipment he's in. Now, it's also, and it's probably even more likely that he falls like an anchor, right? Like he falls like an anchor. So this would probably be a tournament play only and probably a low percentage tournament play at that. But I don't have an issue taking a shot on SVG. Um, yes, he's gotten all of his playoff wins on road courses. But the oval stuff is slowly but surely getting better. So I'll take a shot. Low percentage shot, but I'll take a shot. Uh, my heartbreaker is up next. Kyle Busch. Someone on Twitter, and this wasn't anybody prominent, but someone on Twitter, and I gotta make sure somebody on Twitter said, "You gambling people need to stop making Kyle Busch happen because Kyle Busch is washed, and Kyle Busch is never going to happen again." He wasn't saying that to me per se, but I did feel personally attacked when I read that because I do recommend Kyle Busch quite a lot. Uh, and I really want to recommend him here. And I don't, and it's not because of practice. He was good in practice, but look, he fell off. He even in his post practice interview, he was like, "Yeah, no, we were fast to start, but like we got crappier as practice went on." Richard Childress Racing was good here last season. This was like their one bright spot was Richmond. And then old snowplow Austin Dillon went and ruined it by wrecking everybody, right? Um, is Kyle Busch washed? In my opinion, no. It's the team he's with that's washed. So on that mindset, if I don't think Kyle Busch is washed, and I think this is Richard Childress's best racetrack right now, then therefore I have to take a shot on him in DFS this weekend. I don't think I'm going to go crazy though. I could see him. I haven't ran ownership yet. I haven't ran projections yet. It's a Saturday night race, 6:58 in the morning. Um, I don't know what kind of ownership he's going to pull because he is starting deep in the field. He is a name. He was good in practice, and he has good history here. I will probably be underweight of whatever that is just because of how much he's burned me this season, but I'm still going to have some exposure to Kyle Busch. Zane Smith starting 29th. That's lap down city. I can't get into that. Kyle Larson starting 30th. Love it. I shouldn't say I love it. He will be very popular, obviously, because of the name, because of where he's starting, and the place differential upside he gets you. and his practice numbers were great. But like I mentioned, he was in Group A, which was the better of the practice groups this time. And he's kind of been struggling a little bit. Not even a little bit. Look, he's C plus for the recent form, right? I don't really remember a time where Kyle Larson was C plus. So, do I anticipate him driving like a bat out of hell to start this race to insulate himself from being a lap down? I do. But I don't know what I I can't say with really full confidence that he's gonna charge his way through the field and be top 5 with some fast laps and laps led by the end of the day because he just hasn't been that Kyle Larson lately. Now, we all know he has it in him. Shout out to our boy Ram Racing. So should he be in your pool? Yeah. Do I think you should go crazy overexposure with him just because of how far back he's starting? I'm gonna say no. Just because of how much he struggled lately. Would love for him to prove me wrong and put a show on for starting in 30th, but that remains to be seen. Gilly starting at 31st. I'll take a shot on the Gilly gang. Cheap. Um, Now again, this is where it's you're in lap down territory, right? So these cars really have a chance of going a lap down at stage 1, which would be bad. But you gotta save money somewhere, right? So Gilly, if you need to save money and you gotta go back in here, I'll take a shot on Gilly. I'll take even more of a shot on Corey Heim. Love me some Corey Heim. He has been, if you played the NASCAR Truck Series or pay attention to the NASCAR Truck Series, it's been Heim time all the time. I like that. There is no reason he should be full time in the Cup Series this year. He has that much talent behind him. Um, he was good in practice, but it's practice that I'm not really putting too much stake in. I just think that he should be able to have a good performance on Saturday night. Uh, I wish he was a little bit cheaper for having like no track history here, no recent form, no nothing at 6,700. But he's been a killer on the truck series. He won the truck race just last night. So at Richmond on this track surface. So um I don't want to say he's a shitter because he's not a shitter, but he's one of my preferred shitters, so to speak. Ross Chastain, yes, but again, he definitely is in potential lap down territory. Now, he's aggressive as hell. He should be able to bulldoze his way through there to make sure he doesn't get a lap down, but um I do like him, even though he's starting so deep in the field. John Hunter, no. It's a no for me, dog. Jesse Love. I love Jesse Love. Um, I just wish it wasn't in a Richard Childress car. So he's probably a no for me. But if you need to save some kind of money and he's one of your options that's there, I wouldn't mind clicking on him. Ricky Stenhouse is a no. Cody Ware is a no. Um, and last but not least is Joey Logano starting dead last. He was terrible in practice, and then he cut the tire and got damage. I've said so many times before that I'm not putting too much stake into practice because it's daytime practice for a nighttime race. But he is starting dead last. It is hard to pass, and he did cut a tire and get damage. Would it surprise any of us for him and crew chief Paul Wolf to pull some kind of crazy strategy and pit strategy, get off sequence and get up through the field that way? Absolutely not. Um, would it also surprise any of us if they were completely off the rails and super slow and lap down stage 1 and doesn't get out of the 30s or mid 20s, also no. He will get a lot of ownership today just because of the name and his passability here, but he does have a pretty upward climb ahead of him. So I think you play him in cash games, and I think in tournaments it's worth considering pivoting. How much to pivot? I'll leave that up to you, but does have a big day ahead of, or a hard day ahead of him, starting dead last. Working his way up through the field fast enough to not be a lap down by the end of stage 1. It could be a very fun watch. If anything else, it could be fun to see what happens. Do I have anything else here on my notes? Pre-Stinny. Heim Gilly. Yeah, I touched on everybody I wanted to speak about. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this quick hit video, which was at 26 minutes, so not really quick. Because I need to work on ownerships and projections and a slate plan and all that fun stuff. So, as always, thanks for hanging out. Check out the slate plan for my Dominator information and all my other thoughts on the slate. And as always, let's ship it.